What's up guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about what I would do with $1,000. If you have $1,000 right now, or you have $1,000 to spare right now, right, to start investing, I'm going to be teaching you and letting you know what you should do with that money, right? This $1,000 shouldn't be an $1,000 that you're going to use for your bills or for your expenses for the month. That's not what I'm talking about. You should already have money as your emergency savings fund. So if you're watching this video and $1,000 is all you have to your name, just close this video and go put that money in your emergency savings fund. This is not for you. But if you have an extra $1,000, if you have an extra $2,000, but specifically $1,000, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to give you some information on what you could do with that money to grow that money over time. Today we're going to be talking about 3 ETFs that I like and 3 ETFs that I personally invest into, right? That I personally invest into, and over time I know that they're gonna grow because they're all US based. They're all US based ETFs. So before we get into the video and I start giving you the 3 ETFs that I'm talking about today, I want to talk a little bit about what an ETF is first. So I posted another video yesterday where I was talking about how to start investing, right? If you want to check that out as well. But I posted that video, and in that video I was talking about single stocks. So everybody knows what single stocks are. You know that there's companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Walmart, Costco that offer people shares, and you as a shareholder, you can invest into these companies, right, with the money that you have. You can either buy fractional shares, you can either buy full shares of a company. So let's say a company, a share of a company like Apple is $300. You can buy fractional shares, meaning you can take $150 and invest into Apple still. You don't have to have $300 as a whole, but you can take your $150, you can take $200 and still invest into Apple. So that's what a single stock is. What an ETF is, an ETF is a basket of stocks in one. It's a basket of stocks in one. So all you have to understand is that companies like your Apples, your Microsofts, your Googles, your Teslas, your Amazons, all these companies are put into one fund, and then you can take your money and invest into this ETF. You can take your money and invest into this fund. So just think about the power of an ETF. The first ETF that I want you to know about is VOO. It's called VOO. It's the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So this ETF specifically tracks the 500 largest, most profitable companies inside of the USA. So when you buy VOO, you're buying a piece of every company that's in this fund. So you're buying a little bit of Apple, you're buying a little bit of Microsoft, you're buying a little bit of Tesla, you're buying a little bit of Nvidia, you're buying a little of Exxon, you're buying a little of Home Depot, you're buying a little of Johnson & Johnson. So this ETF is the starter. It's the beginner pack, right? This is the main one that everybody always talks about. This is an ETF that tracks the top 500 companies in the world. It tracks the S&P 500 index. So through investing into this specific ETF, you can get exposure to the top 500 companies inside of the USA. So why would you put something like this in your portfolio? Because it provides stability. It provides stability. It's like a base for your overall portfolio. While it won't go as fast as you would like, right? It probably won't move as fast as you would like, but it protects you from total losses because it's diversified across 11 different sectors. So when you hear sectors, just think about your finance sector, tech sector, your healthcare. When you hear sectors, just think about those things: hospitality, finance, tech, those different areas and industries. So you have to understand that this ETF that tracks the S&P 500 generally, historically, averages about 10% annual returns, right? 10% annual returns. So what you have to understand is that investing into this fund allows you to create a base for your portfolio. That's one of the biggest lessons that I wish I learned in the beginning. I started investing into VOO, but then I sold out of it, right? I got out of it because in my head, I wasn't making enough money. That's what I thought. I wasn't making enough money quick enough, as much as I wanted. But then I started to realize, like, you need VOO because it's the stability ETF, right? It's the one that through all the through all the ups and downs in the market, it's the one that's gonna stay and keep your portfolio sane. So it's gonna keep your portfolio sane. So you have to understand that this is the base of your portfolio, VOO. The second ETF I want to talk about is QQM. QQQM. So this is a NASDAQ 100 ETF. So this is the growth engine, right? When you think about QQQM, this is the technology ETF. So this holds the top 100 largest non-financial companies in the NASDAQ. So this ETF is very tech heavy. It's very tech centric. So you have your Nvidias, you have your Amazons, you have your Microsofts, you have these big tech giants that are in this specific ETF. It's where your Mag 7 live. So if you guys don't know what the Mag 7 is, it's the Magnificent 7 companies, right, that are leading the way in this tech revolution that we're in. So you have your Amazons, you have your AMDs, you have your Amazon, so you have your Teslas, you have your Apples, you have your Microsoft. These consist of the Mag 7. So it also includes some boring companies like banks and utilities that will focus on innovation, software, and retail giants, right? So it diversifies as well. But this one, QQQM, is more tech heavy. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. It's a little bit more volatile than the VOO because this one is tech. This one is dealing with day-to-day fluctuations in the market, right? People are consistently buying into and selling out of their positions for tech companies, which is why you'll see it goes up and it goes down. But you have the possibility to make substantial amount of returns investing into QQQM because it's tech. Like, everybody knows that tech is what's driving the world. Tech is what drives everything we use today, right? The cars we're using, they're EV and they use tech. The computers we're using, whatever you're watching me on right now, if it's a laptop, it's a phone, it's through tech. So you know these tech companies are naturally going to grow over time, right? This is a very tech heavy ETF. So it's faster than VOO and it has outperformed the S&P 500 over the last decade because of the massive growth in big tech. So just make a note of that. It has outperformed the S&P 500 VOO because it's very tech centric. So this is also a cheaper version of the famous QQQ that some of you might know, because the reason why you would rather choose QQQM instead of QQQ specifically is because this ETF has a lower expense ratio. So it's better for long-term holders, people like me and you who want to hold these ETFs for a long time, 20, 30, 40 years into the future. So just think of that. The last ETF that I want to discuss is the SMH ETF, Van Eyck Semiconductor ETF. This is it's kind of like a specialized ETF, right? It tracks the 25 most powerful companies in the semiconductor industry. So when you think about chips, when you think about AI, this is what this fund has. It has these companies that are creating chips that are in the AI space. So this is a sector bet. So it's dominated by companies like your Nvidias, your TSMs. That TSMC is a company that creates these AI chips, right? And if you know anything about AI and the boom that we're in, we're going to naturally need chips because these chips are what's powering this AI boom. These chips are what's allowing you to use ChatGPT. These chips are what's allowing you to use your Geminis, what's allowing you to use Grok. They're kind of powering all these AI companies. So we're going to consistently be investing into SMH because we know over the next few years, the returns we're going to get are going to be substantial. So you want to put this in your portfolio only if you believe in AI. If you're someone who believes in AI and what AI is going to do, I mean, obviously you can see what AI is doing. You can go on ChatGPT and see what AI is doing. You can go on Gemini and see what AI is doing, right? So if you're someone that believes in AI, if you believe in cloud computing, if you believe in electric vehicles, EVs, and you believe that they're the future, because these companies, a company like TSMC is creating these chips and it's providing these chips to AMD, Nvidia, right? And you realize that these chips are needed to function these electric vehicle cars. These chips are needed to function and mobilize everything that's happening with AI. And you understand that, then why wouldn't you invest into this ETF? Although SMH is very high risk and it's high reward as well, right? You also have to understand that it can dip 20-30% based off of news that comes out. But over the long run, you'll make some good returns because of the tech boom that we're in. Over the next 4 to 5 years, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm a betting man and I'm going to bet on AI, right? I'm going to bet that the companies like Nvidia, the companies like AMD are going to continue to make chips. The companies like your Oracles, your Microsofts, your Metas, they're going to continue to use AI as part of their services, as part of a way to make money, because none of those companies want to get left out. So when tech is booming, SMH often leaves VOO and QQQ back. Like, it leaves them in the dust, to be honest. All right, it just goes past them because everybody gets hype and everybody gets like riled up when they see AI stocks going up, when they see tech companies moving up. So just think of it as a high risk, high reward ETF. So these are the top 3 ETFs that I wanted to leave you with, and I hope that if you have your $1,000, right, you can spread it however you want. I would take this $1,000. I would take just to balance out your portfolio 500 in VOO. 500 in VOO just to know you're safe, right? That's your larger position. It's half of your position. So VOO doesn't move too much, right? But it's consistently moving over time. Yes, it might fluctuate. It might go up and down throughout the years. But you're not a short-term holder. You're a long-term holder. So you shouldn't be worried about what VOO is doing throughout the day. 500 in VOO. Then you take 300 and you put it into QQQM. QQQM. You take 300, put it into QQQM because you believe in tech, you believe in what tech is going to do for the future. Then the last ETF that I want you to take the rest of your $200 and to put it into is SMH, because you're betting on AI and you believe in AI, right? If you don't yet believe in AI, go do a little bit of research and see what AI is doing. They're going to try and find a way to integrate AI in everything you're going to do in your life. Companies are already letting go of people, right, to replace them with AI agents that can do these people's job easier. I think Oracle just fired like 30,000 people via message, right, via email. People were just chilling on the weekends and then they saw an email that they're laid off and they gave them a severance pay or something, right? They told them, here, thank you for working for us. We're replacing you with robots. We're replacing you with robots. That's really what happened. Nah, they didn't say robots, but you get what I'm saying. We're replacing you with AI, right? So AI is going to take up a lot of jobs. AI is going to do these things. So if you're someone that believes in AI, why not profit off of it? So these are the top 3 ETFs. Remember, 500 in VOO, 300 in QQQM, lastly, 200 in SMH. Thanks for watching this video. I didn't want to make this video too long explaining all these things, but I hope you found something that you could pick off this video. Take that $1,000 in. This is not financial advice, but this is advice that I would give myself if this was 5 years ago. So thank you for watching. Peace.